Welcome to another episode of Exploring with Jason. Do you know who this guy is? Have you heard his story? Today we're going to learn about Dr. Bob, the founder of Akron Alcohol Anonymous Group. Let's visit and learn the story of the famous Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob Smith, Hobart Smith, was born to the lovely parents of Walter and Susan Smith. He was the only child, and he was born in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. As a child, his parents took him to church services 4 times a week. Imagine going to church every single week, or even maybe 7 days a week. He graduated from St. John's Academy in 1898. During this time, he met his future wife and while at a dance. Bob started going to college at Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire. Early on during his adult life, he knows that he could recover drinking while quicker than any of his classmates and never get a headache because he believed that he was an alcoholic at that time. Smith was a member of the Kappa fraternity at Dartmouth. After graduating, he started working for 3 years selling hardware from Boston to Chicago and Montreal, while drinking heavily. During this time, he returned to study medicine at the University of Akron. During this time, he would drink so heavily that it would take a toll on him, where he would miss classes, etc. His father, while Smith was finishing sophomore year, was dismissed and was transferred to Rush Medical College, which is in Chicago, Illinois. And it was at this time where his drinking increased. After a dismissal showing during the final examination, the university was required to have him remain for two extra quarters and remain sober during this time as a condition for his graduation. After graduation, Smith became a hospital intern, and for 2 years he was able to stay busy enough to refrain from having heavy drinking. Later he married the love of his life, high school sweetheart, Ann Robinson Ripley, on January 25th, 1915. And at this time, he opened his own office in Akron, checked into more than a dozen hospitals and a sanatorium in his effort in order to stop his drinking habits. He was encouraged by a passage of prohibition in 1919, but soon discovered that the exemption for medical alcohol and bootlegger could supply more enough to continue his excessive drinking. For the next 17 years of his life revolved around how subservient to his wife's effort to stop his drinking and family and his drinking. In January 1933, Bob attended a lecture by Frank Beckman, the founder of Oxford Group. Then, in the next 2 years, Bob attended a local meeting of the group in an effort to solve his alcoholism. But recovery eluded him until he met Bill Wilson in May of 1935. He was an alcoholic who had learned how to stay sober, thus far only some limited amount of time, through Oxford Group in New York, and was close to discovering a long-term sobriety by helping others who suffer from alcohol and from being alcoholic. Wilson was in Akron business that had proven a long-term sobriety by helping him and others. Wilson was an alcoholic who had learned how to stay sober thus far for some limited amount of time through the Oxford Group in New York, and was close to discovering long-term sobriety by helping others dealing with alcohol and with alcoholism. Wilson was in Akron on a business and had proven unsuccessful, and he was in fear of relapsing. Recognizing the danger, he made inquiries about any local alcoholics who can talk to, and was referred to Smith by Henrietta Seiberling, one of the leaders of Akron Group. After talking to Wilson, Smith stopped drinking and invited Wilson to stay at his home. He relapsed almost a month later while attending professional convention at Atlantic City, returning to Akron on June 9th. He was given a few drinks by Wilson, avoid delirium treatment. He drank one beer, and then the next morning to settle his nerve by Wilson, so he could perform an operation, which proved to be the last alcoholic drink he would ever have. On June 10, 1935, is when they celebrated the anniversary of the founding of Alcoholics Anonymous. Smith was called the Prince of 12 Stepper by by Wilson because he helped more than 5,000 alcoholics before his death. He was stay sober from 1935 until his death in 1950 from colon cancer. He is buried here in Mouthpiece Cemetery in Akron beside his lovely wife and sweetheart, Anne. There you have it. So he was a major influential person that not a lot of people know about him. No lesser known, but major impact in today's society. And so when you're here, say hi and give him thanks and pay your respect and give him thanks for his contribution to the society. And I'll see you on the next adventure.